Fantasy baseball on deck, everybody. This is Austin as usual. Quick update. If you haven't already done it, you might very be too late. You should have done it last night, earlier this morning. I didn't have time to get to it until now because I'm a working man. But anywho, Eric Lauer is available in, let's say, 83% of fantasy baseball leagues. This is a 26-year-old guy. He is the 5 spot in the rotation of the embarrassment of riches that is the starting pitching rotation for the Milwaukee Brewers. Eric Lauer should be owned in more leagues than he is, and he will be owned in probably 50% of leagues the next couple of days because of how good he's been to start the year and how good he was even last year too. He's overshadowed by Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta, and Brandon Woodruff for sure. But this guy is still super young, 26 years old. He is always trots out a great ERA. And last night, a little bit of a nugget. And consistent with the rest of his career, he has usually just about as many strikeouts as he does innings pitched as well. So if we look at season stats, he's got 23 strikeouts per his 16 innings pitched with a 2.2 ERA. That's incredible. Last night, he had 13 strikeouts in his win over the Philadelphia Phillies on Sunday Night Baseball. This is a guy that is not going to last long on your waiver wire, and that he earned 25 points in ESPN standard leagues without even earning a win. So he's absolutely a positive add. If you're able to roster him, he's not going to be available much longer. And the benefit is that he is going to continue to play against poor batting lineups like Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Not a whole lot going on for them offensively. And then last night with Philadelphia, there's a lot of hype around Philadelphia's offense and like their ability to hit home runs and such. And I just truly don't have any fear of the Philadelphia Phillies from an offensive perspective. But regardless, he's going to be playing offenses like this all year round because he plays in the NL Central. And, even all of last season, he had an incredible ERA too. So what's most important about our guy here, Eric Lauer, is that last night, if I go over to the box score with the Philadelphia Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers, is not only did he have 13 strikeouts across this 6 innings pitched, is he pitched 98 pitches, basically 100 pitches. They let him complete the frame to get to 98 pitches. Now, if he would have let Schwarber go at the very end there on his last at bat, then they probably would have pulled him. But for it to be just the end of April and Eric Lauer already be able to be stretched out to 100 pitches is really, really good. The negative is that the Milwaukee Brewers do not hit. They have a horrible, horrible, horrible offense. Like a pretty sad excuse for an offense. They don't score any runs. But the thing is that if he just so happens to get a lead in any way, shape, or form, not only is the Brewers pitching staff incredible, their bullpen is just about the best in baseball. So if he is handing the ball over to a Brad Boxberger, a Devin Williams, and a Josh Hader just about every time that he goes out, that's more or less the equivalent to the Reds' nasty boys in the regards to like no one else is getting on base. As you can see, no hits allowed by anyone in that bullpen after Lauer left the game. So it seems like a pretty surefire hit, and he's available in most leagues. So Eric Lauer, that's my first bit of advice. So down to Jesus Lizardo. Jesus Lizardo, I made a video about before. This is old news, but Jesus Lizardo had what people might consider to be a hiccup the other day against St. Louis. I'd say 4 earned runs is really not that big of a deal, but it was a weird outing for him for sure. Not what you want to see. But yesterday, he had across 5 innings pitched another 8 strikeout game with one earned run. The Marlins, again, poor offense, not going to get a lot of run support, not going to get as many wins as he should. But given that he had 8 strikeouts across 5 innings pitched, it's pretty awesome. And again, he's super young. I can't believe that this guy has been given up on in so many formats over the years. He broke out as a 20-year-old. He's got to be great. So Jesus Lizardo, My Marlins, he's locked into their starting rotation. The Marlins seem to get the most out of their starting pitchers. They just need to get a little run support, and they'll continue to succeed. So Jesus Lizardo, he's owned in 44% of leagues, but if he's still available in yours, somebody I would strongly consider getting a hold of. And also, what I've talked about before is with these guys, if you can't make space for them right now, that's obviously tough. You never want to just drop people because you're just losing value. If you're able to trade people, that's obviously the way to go, but it requires a little more legwork. You got to make sure that you're texting people, messaging people in your league to really get the most out of that experience. So Jesus Lizardo, if he's available, get a hold of him. If you don't have anybody you can drop, try to trade 2 quality players for an elite player, and then had Jesus Lizardo as a sleeper behind, and I don't think you'll regret it. So back to Taylor Ward. You guys are probably tired of hearing Taylor Ward at this point. He's kind of like my under the radar dark horse this year. There's lots of guys I always hype up before they really explode, and this is someone that's not any different. So if I go over to the box score of yesterday's LA Angels and Baltimore Orioles game, nothing crazy exciting to get pumped up about other than like Taylor Ward's hitting the 5-hole. So since Mike Trout's come back in the lineup and healthy, Rendon's been healthy. They slotted Rendon back in that 3-hole and Trout in the 2-hole, but that's fine because he's going to get all the opportunities for RBIs with Walsh, Rendon, Trout, and Ohtani in front of him. He is still hitting 346 across 20 plus at bats, compared to say like his running mate right ahead of him, Jared Walsh, who was an all-star this last season. He has, he's hitting 255. He's doing what he can. It's a slow start. That's fine. But if we go over to our rosters, Jared Walsh, who I have a lot of faith in, across 47 at bats, he scored 30 fantasy points in standard leagues, and in 26 at bats for the entire season, Taylor Ward essentially scored the same amount of points. He's 1.5 points off of Jared Walsh, and he's hitting that 5-hole of a really good offense. It just seems like it's wild to me that he's still only 5.5% owned across all fantasy formats. So that's somebody that absolutely should look into adding if you need any sort of outfield depth or you can take any more talent. So my final comment in this league, ESPN formats, remember that you cannot trade or add players to your roster if you have healthy people in your IL. So my current situation is that Owen Miller, who's owned across 70% of fantasy formats, was hurt or not. He was on the COVID list this past week, and so I added him. He's been sitting on my COVID IL, and now everyone's healthy, and I don't have a place to put him. And I really don't have anyone. I've stared at this for hours, and I really don't have any place to slot him in with someone that I would drop. And if I look down at my pitchers, I always want to make sure that I have the max amount of pitchers with minimal, so if I have bench spots, like in this league, I have 3 bench spots. They're all allocated to pitchers because a pitcher scoring once or twice or playing once or twice in a week for your fantasy team is always going to outscore the difference of a batter on your bench slotting in every now and then when they have off days. So like today, if I was to happen to have Owen Miller on my bench and instead of my IL, I could simply just slot him in to say like Austin Riley's spot where Atlanta's not playing today. And let's say at very best, Owen Miller scores 5 points. That's 5 points in the positive. That's good. But if we go to the next day, and why I don't like having batters in my bench spot is that at that point I have to. At this point, everyone's playing. I have to bench someone who's actively playing, which is not something that you want to do. You'd rather just have a starter who's already going to be, riding the pine for that day, waiting for his fifth start to come up. To be sitting on your bench instead of an extra batter. So I'm in a bit of a pickle here because I have to probably drop Jose Urquidy, but that's future Austin's problem, and I'll let you guys know what I do. But another reason to keep your waivers and don't claim people right away, make sure you hold on to those, is throughout the season. I know this is just my league. Every league's different. throughout the season, people are going to get desperate, especially on like Saturdays and Sundays when they are on the cusp of winning or losing their game. They're going to drop people for the short-term success instead of long-term success in order to win their game. So for no good reason at all in my league, Framber Valdez, who I have a ton of faith in, I usually get him every year, is available. He's had one poor game. It's a slow start. It's a slow start for everybody. But this is a guy who's 25, 26 years old, is the 3-hole in the rotation, locked into the rotation with Houston. A ton of a run support, really quality guy. So, somebody that's owned in 92% of leagues for a reason. Again, a bit of a slow start, but like I currently can't even put a claim in for him because of what I said before. I've got a healthy Owen Miller on my IL, and I have to drop someone before I can even trade or think about putting a claim in for Framber Valdez. So anyway, that's the end of my episode. I really appreciate you guys' time, and happy Monday. Go Red Legs. Eric Lauer, sit your ass down, it's time for happy hour. Your offense sucks, but your cutter's worth $1 million. Striking out Kyle Schwarber with 0 giving fucks. Your mascot is drunk, your division is also junk. You're a first round pick, your control is pretty sick. Now can we please just get some damn run support, yo? Cutters sliding through like butters. Out.